and built a armature, which is basically metal, wood, whatever, styrofoam, whatever I can use. I think I use styrofoam on this, and then you cover it with clay, and then you just kind of carve at it in details and kind of work it up. So we got the product we wanted, and I brought it here to the foundry. They took the clay and they made like molds like this. And what they do, they start thin, they just brush it on, and they thin it out, I think, with thinner. And it's just a latex rubber. Then they steadily get it thicker and thicker and thicker. And they thin it out less, and they put like a bunch of coats on it. And then they take it apart and made wax reproductions, was what that thing is there. And the way they do that, they cut it apart kind of like a model, like a car, airplane, whatever model. And you can see where they cut it to make different molds of it, just like over there. And so they cut it in sections and make the molds, and then they cast them in sections, separate pieces. Like the head is separate, the arms are separate, the hands are separate. And then they take the wax and add in details, things that might not come out during the mold making process. They carve things out, and then they submit that to this company here. It's in Norman, but they scale it up. What they do is they use a three-dimensional scan, like a laser or something, and all that data goes into a computer. That's hooked up to little cutters, some kind of little cutter heads. So they take the foam, and they have the foam in blocks in the different sections, the arms, the heads, or whatever they need to do, and then they make a rough, they chisel it out with those cutters. And so when you get this back, it's actually rough. You can see the chisel marks, the cutter marks on it. And it's kind of a basic form. It's pretty close, but then you come back with tools and add in details to it.
The head is just absolutely beautiful. He's raised the bar as far as I'm concerned on carving this foam.
I use wood tools on it, and that enabled me to use, I just basically carved it like wood. And that enabled me to get all these details in, so that instead of spraying clay on it or brushing clay over this, they're just going to spray it with latex to keep all that detail, and then make another mold of that. So that's basically what that is. That blow up is the clay reproduction. Putting clay on the torso and the legs and the arms. From this, they're going to make another series of molds and recast the big piece, this piece, in wax in different sections. And then they'll make the hard molds, I guess, from that, ceramic molds. And they'll take the wax inside the ceramic molds, melt that wax out, then they'll fill that up again with metal. And then they piece that together, weld it together, all the different sections, grind it down, sandblast it and all that. They piece it together like a model and get to where they want it. And they sandblast the whole thing, and then they come back and put like a color or patina on it or something. And that's what you see is like those dark grays or browns and that sort of thing, the finished statue. And in Sequoyah, he's going to be just roughly over 9 foot tall, but without the base, and I think the base might make him a foot taller, so he'll be about 10.5 feet taller. So he's going to be holding a staff, and it's his teaching tool, so he'll have the syllabus wrapped around the staff. And then he'll have paperwork where he's actually written on the paper, and he's showing the viewer a feather, and the feather's being converted to a pin, so it has kind of a dual significance. You know, it's Native American, and that it's New World too. You know, so you know, he's offering that kind of that empowerment to people to take the pen and use it.